Time is X minus 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
It's the Rocket Hour. Y'all are now tuned in. Time to hit the pick four that you'd love to win. If your money's coming slow, step on the faster track with your host, Ricky Pasternak. Let's go.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the Rocket Hour. We're going to do things a little bit different this morning just because Aaron, as you could tell, he's not in his normal background. He's at a hotel somewhere halfway between there and Louisville. I'm in my normal setup here in Fort Lee, New Jersey. Aaron, before we start, I just want to give a quick shout-out to Saratoga Sun this morning. He came out with his Pace Thesis article on his Twitter. You can check it out at racingdudes.com, but he also announced his retirement from writing. So I texted him last night as a joke, and I said, I can't believe this is happening. And he said, stop. I'll see you at the track. Any thoughts on that and news before we get into what we have to cover today?
I give it a few months. He'll be back. Saratoga season, I think Saratoga Slim will be back. But yeah, no, he actually wrote a resignation letter to Jared and I, a very sweet letter. Slim, one of the best guys out there. You know, he really is. I like that. I think he'll be back. He's retired before, unofficially, so I think we'll see him again. But the Pace Thesis is out. If he goes out with that, I mean, good on him. It's a really good article again this year.
That's true. Yeah. So shout out to Saratoga Slim. I'll keep that up. So what we're gonna do today, we have no coverage of today's card, so we apologize for that. Trust me, it's gonna be a nightmare dealing with races anyway, so it's better we get the bad weather out of the way now at Churchill Downs. It should be nice for the rest of the weekend, and obviously Aaron and Jared will give us coverage from that. What we're going to do, we have got a hard hour today, around 12 o'clock, 12:05, we're done. We'll spend the first 40 minutes or so doing our Kentucky Derby draft that Aaron is going to keep up to date. You guys could see it here, my team and then Aaron's team. It's not going to be together, so we'll go back and forth with that. Then we'll spend 10 minutes on the turf race, the big turf race, the Old Forester turf, right before the Kentucky Derby on Saturday, and then we will do the Kentucky Derby Oaks. So basically Derby, turf, Oaks. We will go in that order, about 40 minutes, 10 minutes, 10 minutes. That'll be our hour. So we're going to get started right away. I'm going to keep track of the horses that we've already used. Aaron's going to mark it down for us. So if I say X, Y, and Z, or Aaron does, I could say, Aaron, we already used that one. So what we're going to do, and Aaron eloquently explained this to me. If you finish first, you get 20 points, second place, 19 points, so on and so forth. We're only going to have 10 horses each. What we're going to do is kind of explain why we chose this selection. Obviously, the odds don't really matter. They're irrelevant here. These aren't win bets. They're not pick 4 bets, pick 5 bets. It's just in talent, I guess. You can go off talent or maybe ride or jockey, something like that, why you wanted this horse. Nothing else. So that's what we're going to go off of. Aaron, I have our horses here. I'm going to show the entries like right here. Obviously, I can't mark it up on here, guys. So I'll try to go back and forth here. I'll just try to go so you guys can see what we're looking at. I'm going to mark it down. So Aaron, you were kind enough to come up with this format, this theme. So I'm going to let you go first. I will mark it down. So who is your first selection in the Ricky's Rocket Hour Kentucky Derby Draft 2021?
Oh, man. Big mistake right off the bat. Letting me go first, Ricky. Listen, I'm going to go Essential Quality. Top pick in the race. I definitely think it's the horse that I can rely on the most for purposes of this draft. I think he's going to run, in the money for sure. We've said it 100 times. The horse can win from anywhere. It can win on the lead, stalking, coming from the clouds, can win on a fast surface, a sloppy surface. Doesn't matter. I just think he's the most consistent horse. So Essential Quality for me.
Yeah, I guess I'm the moron who let you go first. I'll say this now because I haven't said it. My top pick in the race is Rock Your World anyway. So I don't mind taking Rock Your World here. So that's going to be my first selection, Rock Your World. We've talked about it before. To me, this horse, the ceiling doesn't exist. We have no idea what his ceiling is. He might have already hit his ceiling. I guess we'll find that out. to me, Essential Quality is an A horse. Rock Your World has the potential to be an A+ horse. I think he's the only one to do that. So I actually don't mind taking Essential Quality. So that's my second pick. So 14 and 15, if you guys are keeping track, those post positions are gone. So Aaron will be making his second selection now.
I have felt ever since the draw that Hot Rod Charlie is going to run a big race here. I thought he got the perfect post position. I really like how he's training coming into the race. I really like how he ran the Louisiana Derby. Mile and 3/16 race. He got out towards the front. He wouldn't let anybody by. So with my second pick, I'm going to go Hot Rod Charlie.
Hot Rod Charlie, the 9 horse, he does come in 8-1, just won the Louisiana Derby. Okay, so he's going to go Hot Rod Charlie. By the way, that is the horse I had 3rd overall. By the way, I just want to let you guys know that. I'm going to go with Medina Spirit. Medina Spirit, I also thought got a perfect post position. Very similar to Hot Rod Charlie. I'm with Aaron, though. I think Hot Rod Charlie is slightly more talented, slightly better. But we talked about it on the live stream. You really want post positions like 7 through 11, and these horses are right in that mix. So I'm going to take Medina Spirit, who just finished second in the Santa Anita Derby, to Rock Your World. So post position 8 is gone. Aaron, it's time for you to make your 3rd selection and the 5th horse overall.
Yeah, I told Jared on the drive last night, I said the one horse that if he wins, I'm going to be really pissed off is Highly Motivated, because I've just been high on Highly Motivated for a long time. The 17 post just really, it's like, yeah, I just can't see him doing it. But for the purposes of me being a little less mad, I'll go ahead and draft him here with my pick. I really think this is one of the more talented horses in the race. It's just that distance and that post is going to be tough, but Highly Motivated for me is going to be my 3rd pick.
Yeah, I think Highly Motivated. I think Aaron, you even said it. He is. It seems like the key to this race. Like if he runs well out of that spot, it's going to be mighty impressive. So that's a 17. Highly Motivated. Hasn't won since the Nyquist, but ran a heck of a race in the Bluegrass. I'm going to go with Mandaloon, the 7 horse, at 15-1. The Brad Cox trainee. Again, Aaron, we talked about it all the time. He did not run well at the Louisiana Derby, but going into that race, he was a 6-5 favorite. Any Brad Cox horse that comes in at 15-1 after being a 6-5 favorite in what a lot of people thought was the best circuit at that time in February and March, I'm all over it. I think Mandaloon has some speed. Probably will sit behind Medina Spirit and Hot Rod Charlie. That's my guess. It's going to be interesting to see where he falls. Florent Giroux, just as good as anyone. So that's where I'm going to go with my 3rd selection, Mandaloon. Quick update. The 7, the 8, the 9, the 14, the 15, and the 17 are off the board. Aaron, it is time for your 7th overall selection and your 4th horse.
Yeah, so I'm glad this horse fell. I've already got it updated here. Midnight Bourbon. I just think this is a sneaky horse. He's kind of the poor man's Medina Spirit a little bit, and what I mean by that, he's just always around. He's always around. He's hit the board in all 7 of his races. He's got a running style that really should fit the Kentucky Derby. The last thing, Steve Asmussen just seems pretty darn high on this horse, and he's not usually one to talk up horses. So Midnight Bourbon. With the 7th pick, I like that. I think he's going to run a big race.
I don't like this horse. I don't think he's going to win, but I think Known Agenda is way too talented to still be on the board. And this is kind of a draft, right? We're doing the Kentucky Derby draft on the first night of the draft. I just believe Known Agenda is way too talented. Was extremely green last time out. He was clear of Soup and Sandwich, who was only making, I believe, his 3rd start at the time. But Known Agenda just seems too good to me to be the 8th horse on the board. It's tough, though, for him to really win. But we're going on this point system. He has every chance to hit the board, even from that spot. So Known Agenda for me. Let's move on to the 9th overall horse. Aaron, it's going to be your 5th selection here in this draft.
Yeah, I was really happy that King Fury got in. So I'm going to take King Fury here. I think this is a good spot to take him. I think he's a great hit-the-board type candidate. Only one race. It was the Lexington. It's not like he prepped in something major, but at the same time, that was a really impressive effort. And I think this colt by Curlin is going to like the 1.25 miles. I think this is one to look forward to as far as maybe the whole Triple Crown Trail. Lightly raced, kind of like I mentioned. he can go to the Preakness next off of this one if he needs, or if he runs well here, or they see fit. So yeah, King Fury, I think he can hit the board here. I'm gonna take him.
I'm not going. I'm just trying to move down for you guys so you guys can see the rest of the entries. It's hard for me to go up and down here. I'm going to go with a Papa Dude horse. I'm going to go with the dynamic one. I really like this horse, and if I were to play any long shot, he would probably be my top long shot that I think has a legitimate chance. I really like the way he's progressed, and look, Todd Pletcher probably wouldn't have put this one in his top 5 coming into the year, but he kind of seems like he's getting better. The distance doesn't seem to be an issue. So that's where I'm going to go. Can be tactical as well, and does have one of those prime post positions. So I think for all those reasons, Jose Ortiz aboard again. I'll take dynamic one there. Aaron, I think that is our first 10 selections, correct? So
Yep.
Let's look at it. It's a perfect way to stop. We'll take a few minutes here. We'll obviously do a recap of our team as well. And I have a few thoughts of Aaron's team, and we're going to do a fun little game with that at the end. Aaron, through your first, just break down your card. You have your top 5, which is essential quality. I'll scroll it here. Sorry about that. Essential quality, Hot Rod Charlie, highly motivated, Midnight Bourbon, and King Fury, which is in order, by the way. So he went 1, 3, 5, 7, 9. Is there someone that you would have liked to take, or are you still very happy with this? Or are you someone that you thought would still be on the board that's off the board, or maybe did you take a reach and anything like that here?
I feel pretty good about all 5 of them, really. The only one I would really want other than these 5 is Rock Your World. I do think he's going to run a big race, or at least is capable of it. And Jared and I, again, we were talking on the drive, and it's like, I almost picked Hot Rod Charlie, and Jared's like, I did too. Like, I don't know. There's something about him, the way he looks right now at Churchill. He seems to be on his toes. He ran a very good race, Louisiana Derby. I'm happy that Hot Rod Charlie, we've got him involved in our plays on the guide and stuff, because I don't know. I just think he's going to run a pretty big race here. So I'm happy to get the favorite in the top pick, and then Hot Rod Charlie as well.
Yeah, for me, that's Aaron's team. We'll scroll my team here up. I'm going to let you navigate. I'm going to let you're done. I'm officially off the navigating. I really think Rock Your World is just the best horse. And granted, I'm going off. First of all, I don't care about buyer speed figures, so I'm not even going to talk about that. I don't care. I don't believe in buyer speed figures. I use time form excessively. And Aaron put me onto time form, so shout out to him for that. Yesterday I kept bashing on these Louisiana horses. So I figured, hey, I'm going to be right on my plays, or I'm going to be right here. I can't be wrong in both spots. So that was my thinking. I have Mandaloon as well. And I think the dynamic one, unfortunately, for Aaron and I, once we got to that 9th and 10th selection, we had to go with a long shot. And I've always said this about long shots, and Aaron has agreed with me time and time again. I want a long shot that has run well as a long shot. I don't want a horse that's always a favorite and now is a long shot. I want a long shot that runs well at bad odds, which means they're always trying. Always trying. I think that's important to note. You have 5-1, 5-1, then 40-1, not a good sign. 40-1, 40-1, 40-1, I'll take. A few of the comments, thank you. Bottom shirt. Magic, thank you for chiming in. I know it's early. Magic's got more stuff going on than anyone I've ever met. Personal stuff as well. So shout out to him for even chiming in with a few of his comments. RIP Slim. Hopefully he doesn't retire. Hopefully he doesn't retire. We're going to get through the next 10 here, and then we're going to spend 10 minutes going through a few different things that I want to on this draft. So Aaron, I'll let you start. We're now on the back half of our selections. We're going to pick horses 11 through 20, not post position, but what we would rank 11 through 20. These are the horses left, if you guys are still interested. The 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 12, 13, 18, 19, and 20. So, Aaron, I'll start with you. Who is your 11th selection overall? Who is the 11th selection for you?
I'm going to go with Superstock out of the Steve Asmussen barn. I don't love this horse. I will say this. You kind of said at a long shot that usually runs well at a big price. He is kind of that horse a little bit. Coming off a win, you like that. I hate the post, but maybe he kind of runs, up for fifth, sixth, something like that. I think Super Stock, at least we know he's in really good form coming into the race.
Yeah, I mean, and that's one of the things that's so cool about this. We're now getting to the point where we got to make cases for long shots. So it's really cool. Super Stock, Steve Asmussen, Ricardo Santana, you can do much worse than that duo. I'm going to go with a horse that I've been high on for a long time. I'm probably wrong in doing this, but Helium. Helium comes into this race undefeated. His numbers don't match up. Last year, the Tampa Bay Derby, King Guillermo, I think a lot of people would have used that horse, had the Kentucky Derby, been normal year. Maybe this thing comes back better. I don't know what to make of Hidden Stash, who he beat necessarily, who is still on the board, but I'll take Helium at 50-1, the 12 horse. Aaron, you are up next.
I kind of laughed about this horse, and then John White on our podcast was like, I think Keep Me in Mind is going to run a big race. And his big reasoning was, listen, nothing's really went right for him all year with the training issue and delayed start, and then went to Keeneland because the timing wasn't quite right in Arkansas after those delayed starts. He had a really, really sharp-looking work, and I don't really care about workouts, but when a horse that is kind of a closer has a really fast work, that does say that he's on his toes a little bit. So Keep Me in Mind. I think he's a decent pick here. Maybe he can outrun his odds.
Yeah, that's a good one. That's kind of one that I was hoping I can kind of get my hands on a little bit later, because I was a fan of Keep Me in Mind, especially at last year, but he just hasn't been the same. But to Aaron's point, and maybe on his best day, he is good enough, or to stay in the mix a little bit. I'm going to take another 50-1 shot. They all seem like they're 50-1 at this point. That's Like the King. You know what? This is my case. The Jeff Ruby Stakes, everyone bashed. A lot of people are starting to change that tune. Now, Wesley Ward, Drayden Van Dyke, I need Drayden to run that race. But Aaron, this horse won his last race. There aren't many other horses that come into this saying they won their last race. And I don't know. I'll take Wesley Ward and Drayden Van Dyke. That's a good duo. And you're going to have to come from off the pace from that spot. He hadn't ever shown that before, but he did in the Jeff Ruby Stakes. So I will go there. Granted, the pace was extremely, extremely quick. But that's where I'll go. Like the King. Aaron, you're up next.
I can't believe I'm doing it, because I've called this horse overrated all.
Oh, you're going to do it. You're going to do it.
The other horses left are trash, so it's like I'm going to go with O Bezos. The O stands for overrated. I mean, I don't know. It's like he's better than the rest of these that are left. And what if the Wise Guy horse for the first time ever actually runs a good race? So I'll go ahead and take O Bezos. The thing about him, for our purposes of what we're doing and for what people are going to try to get him in the bottom of the Tri and the Super, you do kind of have a good gauge that he's going to come with a run. Like, he's going to pass tired horses. He's going to be one of those types. So it'll just be how many horses he can pass in the stretch. But I am confident that he will at least run his race.
Yeah. Run. It's so funny that we're doing this. I've never made a case for these types of horses. What we have left is the 3 Brooklyn Strong, the 5 Sainthood, the 13 Hidden Stash, the 19 Soup and Sandwich, and the 20 Bourbonic. I think we're accurate there. I'm going to go with Sainthood, because if I like the King, Sainthood only lost by a length, so that's, I think, a pretty fair argument. I don't know how much I have left to say. You only won one race, but it is Todd Pletcher, and I'm pretty sure out of all the trainers left, that's kind of the one I want, even though he does have another one of his horses here. So I'll go Sainthood. Aaron, we are officially done in the top 10 post positions wise, except for one with Brooklyn Strong. And then we have Hidden Stash, Soup and Sandwich, and Bourbonic. We have 4 horses left, so 2 each. You're up.
I guess I'll go with the Pletcher angle like you just did and take Bourbonic. I mean, I would just be shocked if this horse does anything, but kind of got a good name and did win last time out. So I'll take Bourbonic. But yeah, he is definitely would just be a shock.
So now we are down to Soup and Sandwich, Hidden Stash, and Brooklyn Strong. And I have to go with Soup and Sandwich, not because of the name, because I don't think Mike Somich came on and said he would have considered putting Known Agenda on top. if not for the post position. Based on that, if you're going to lose by less than 3 lengths in only your 3rd start of your career, I could make worse angles. Soup and Sandwich, I'm kind of shocked he's still on the board, so that's where I'll go. So, Aaron, now it's Hidden Stash or it's Brooklyn Strong. So take your pick.
Well, I hate Brooklyn Strong and Hidden Stash both. I think I hate Hidden Stash a little bit worse. So I will end up going Brooklyn Strong here. What good can you really say about him? But he's in the race, and that's good for his connections for sure. So I'll round it out with Brooklyn Strong.
You know what? The case for Brooklyn Strong is, he was pretty decent as a 2-year-old, did win the Remsen and won 3 out of 4. I mean, I'm not sure if that was a long time ago. That's the best case. I tried. That's the best case I can make. All right. I'm taking a horse that's not in this race, and that's Aaron Halterman. Aaron Halterman would beat Hidden Stash if he was in this race. I can't believe I'm taking Hidden Stash. Brooklyn Strong does have – okay, that's fine. Aaron's going to take the Twitter feed to beat the horse, actually. I'll take Hidden Stash. This wasn't even the selection. This is what I was left with. The best thing I could say is Jib Boeheim owns like 2 strands of hair of this horse, so I do have a Syracuse connection. I have nothing positive to say about this horse from a performance-wise, anything like that. So now we're going to do something interesting.
Okay.
You are going to say the best thing about my horses 11 through 20. I will say the best thing about any of your horses 11 through 20. So look through mine and say, crud, I wish I had that horse, or I'm kind of nervous about this horse. I will do the same with you. And then we're going to do one other segment that's forced, but we'll start here.
So out of the last 5 that you drafted, basically, who would I want?
Or who would you want, or say something like, say why you're really scared, or on your real tickets, maybe someone that you actually thought about including, something positive. And I'll do the same with you. I'm making you think now.
I mean, I guess Helium, he could improve. Like, he ran well for being the first race on the dirt. He did run well. So if he could kind of move up again, maybe underneath, he's kind of that weird horse that gets 3rd or 4th. So I would say Helium out of your bottom 5.
Well, that's nice of you. Thank you for the comment. I'll go to your team. So my selections are between Superstock, Keep Me in Mind, Obesos, Bourbonic, and Brooklyn Strong. And I was really hoping Superstock was going to drop a touch. And you took him not too high, but I kind of do like him. So the best thing I will say about Superstock, Aaron, I'm going to do this real quick. Out of all the horses we talked about, he does come in off a win. And I think that's extremely important. And I don't know where Caddo River and Concert Tour fall. Concert Tour is probably like the 3rd horse, right? If he were to be in this race, I would say he's probably Essential Quality, Rock Your World, and Concert Tour. And he absolutely destroyed Concert Tour. I mean, that was never a race. So maybe Concert Tour is not as good. But with that being said, I'm going to go with Superstock. Hey, I think this is from Jared probably, who's probably getting changed or something. Hey, Jared, if you want to pop on last few minutes, please do so. All right. Now I'm going to let you make a trade offer. I will let you offer up horses. So granted, with this trade, it doesn't have to be a 1-for-1. It doesn't have to be like, oh, I'm trading you a Superstock for a Helium, for example. It could be like, hey, Rick, I'll give you, or Rocket Man, whatever you want to call me. Hey, I'll give you Essential Quality for Medina Spirit, Rock Your World, and Mandaloon. Like, it could be a 3-for-1. Now, granted, that limits my opportunities, but it could. And now I have to do that math in my mind. So, Aaron, I'll let you off the top of your head, and you might just say, no, I don't want to make a trade, but I have a trade in mind. So, do you have any trade offers? They're like, maybe not Essential Quality, bad. Like, I'll give you Highly Motivated for Medina Spirit and Mandaloon. Like, that could be a trade. Now, he has 11 horses then, and I have 9, but that's a trade I might want to make. So is there anything off the top of your head that you're maybe interested in doing?
If you've got one in mind, start us off.
Okay. You know what? That's fair because I threw that in your face and I didn't prep you with that. I'm trying to keep you on your toes. I am willing to trade Mandaloon. I'm willing to trade Mandaloon for Super Stock and King Fury. So as Aaron thinks about it, I would be getting 11 horses. Aaron would have 9, but he probably gets out of the 3 horses. Mandaloon is the most likely to win, and probably the most likely to finish above. So we can work around that. But this is cool because we have some extra time. We have this built into the 40-minute mark. So I have a few more trades in mind that Aaron might be interested in. I will scroll down the Equibase entries here. And if Jared, if you're listening, you could be on Halterman's side. You can chime in and say, hey, Halterman, this might be a trade you're interested in. So I have another trade if you want to mosey on that one. I'm willing to trade Sainthood for potentially King Fury, who I know you like. That's not going to be one of the higher trades. I think the first one is better. The third trade I am willing to make, I know I'm throwing a lot at you. I am willing to trade Mandaloon and the dynamic one for Hot Rod Charlie.
No, that's a definite no. The first one was Mandaloon for Superstock and King Fury, correct?
Correct. Which I think is the best one. I ranked them in the ones that I think that we can make it on. The third one was I didn't think that was going to get done. The second one, I forgot what I said with that one. I think that was King Fury for the dynamic one. That was straight.
Yeah, no, I don't want to do that. Oh boy, Mandaloon. I'd like to have him. How about?
Yeah, you can counteroffer. By the way, you can counteroffer.
Mandaloon. I'll give you Superstock, and I'll give you Keep Me in Mind.
Okay, so can you repeat that one more time? I'm looking at my team.
I will give you Superstock and Keep Me in Mind, and you can and I can get Mandaloon.
I can't do that because I'm not that guy and Keep Me in Mind.
I don't want to give up King Fury. Obesos. Okay. You want Obesos?
I'd rather take this gum than Obesos. I would have made that horse last. I would have taken Hidden Stash ahead of him. I hate that horse. Okay, let's counteroffer. I like this. We're playing our Kentucky Derby GM. I will trade you Known Agenda for Highly Motivated, straight up.
No. I don't like Known Agenda that well. I never have.
Wait, how about this? I will throw in Mandaloon, who I know you want. We've established that.
Uh-huh.
And Known Agenda for Highly Motivated and Superstock.
If you do Midnight Bourbon and Superstock, I'll do that one.
For Mandaloon and Known Agenda?
Yeah. Give you the 2 Asmussens for the Cox and the Pletcher.
No, that I can't do that. Let's make this work. We're gonna make it work. Do you not want to make it work? I'm trying. You're not playing along. So. I really want Highly Motivated. So how about this? I want Highly Motivated. You tell me what I would have to do to get that job done.
Rock Your World.
Oh, stop. Okay. Stop. That's the horse I think is going to win the race. Someone chime in. Help us out. Yeah, come on, Ricky. Don't be a wuss. Yeah, suck up to the boss. Of course. Yeah, suck up to the boss, Magic.
Right.
I want Highly Motivated, who is your third horse. I take 4 hours to play a game of Monopoly. No, I'm being practical. That's what I'm doing.
Just give me Rock Your World and Medina Spirit, and you can have Highly Motivated.
Yeah, and I'll take Seabiscuit and Secretariat. No, we're going to make this work. Highly Motivated for Mandaloon, and I will throw in the dynamic one.
No.
You don't want I thought you want Mandaloon.
Not over Highly Motivated, no.
Oh, okay.
No.
I shouldn't have let you go first. Here, straight up, Medina Spirit for highly motivated.
Oh, then I have to root for Baffert.
Oh, stop. That's going to be the reason you don't make the trade? Come on.
All right, let's do it.
Let's do it. So
Yep.
I'm going to take highly. Do you mind changing that while I announce?
I'm changing it right now. Yep.
Perfect. So straight up, I'm going to take Rock Your World and highly motivated. Aaron's going to swap that with Medina Spirit. So I think that works out well. He still keeps Hot Rod Charlie. So highly motivated becomes my second horse, and he's going to move up. He's going to take a good horse. I think that's fair, though, because I really believe the 17 post won't make a difference if he's good enough. Aaron and I have talked about that. So that's from my perspective. Aaron, from your perspective, why did you make that move? And then we're going to get into the final few minutes or so. We'll get into like our legitimate horses that we're keeping an eye on.
Yeah, I had Medina Spirit ranked ahead of highly motivated. So I think it was just kind of like I have my first, my third, and my fourth choice on my team. So I think that was kind of a no-brainer. I needed to do that.
I did as well. And the picks I submitted to Jared, I don't have highly motivated in the top 4. But that is going to be subject to change, I assume. If I text Jared in the morning, hopefully I can make that change. Well, yeah, what's wrong? What would be wrong with that? That's not the worst.
There's a lot wrong with Deshaun Watson right now.
Well, yeah, I'm talking about just talent-wise. Hey, look, Deshaun Watson's a franchise changer. Saquon Barkley's not. Well, so I would never trade Deshaun Watson. I would have to be the one getting Deshaun Watson. So, Aaron, let's forget the draft for a minute. This would be, for Samich to play. Yeah, Samich would be all over the place with that one. So, tell us what, this is the final 10 minutes or so that we're going to be talking about this on the Rocket Hour. Kind of maybe, without giving everything away in the guide, kind of tell us where you and Jared kind of came as a consensus. For folks, they do a live bankroll in the guide. Not going to give anything of that away, but Aaron will give us whatever he chooses to give away for free right now. But kind of tell us where you guys had to break bread, and maybe you're like, we want to use this one, but we got to stop somewhere, or maybe we don't have to use this one. Maybe we can be a little safe. Where did you guys figure on, whether it's on the car ride or last night when you guys were driving? Yeah,
highly motivated was definitely the one that we just were like, we just can't afford to put him in that top spot. So that's kind of like our thoughts were, if there's one horse that wins and we don't hit it and it's highly motivated, we're going to be pissed. The rest of them, it's just kind of like, if they beat us, they beat us. We weren't confident enough. A lot of our plays are going to be centered around the 14 and the 15, which is Essential Quality, Rock Your World. I definitely believe those two are the two to beat. I don't think it's an overcomplicated Derby. I think those two look like the best horses. And then, Hot Rod Charlie was the other one. We just kind of felt like we need to get that horse involved a little bit. But, as far as who needs to win, we really just need the 14 and 15 to win. And then we've got a bunch of stuff underneath. So, we got a little bit wild underneath.
It's always nice to get wild, right? For me, again, I'll say who I submitted in the top 4. I don't mind saying that, even though I just made a trade. So I think Rock Your World. I'm highly considering. I have the product up. I didn't submit it yet officially for Saturday because we're still a couple days away, and I kind of want to see how the track plays out Friday and things like that. I think Rock Your World, and Aaron, I'll let you speak on this, is the only horse that has a legitimate chance to win the Triple Crown. And that's because I think his talent potentially is here. When you talk about Triple Crown horses, I'm not saying he's going to win it. That's not what I'm saying. A Triple Crown winner has to be here, and the rest of the field has to be here. We've seen with Essential Quality that he's not miles ahead of everyone else. He's just not, based on how he beat highly motivated. What does that mean? Winning the Triple Crown isn't everything. Winning the Kentucky Derby is the most important thing, and then you progress to the Preakness and the Belmont. The pedigree for Essential Quality is there in terms of the distance, so it would be interesting to see if Essential Quality, say he were to lose, would he attempt the Preakness, or would he just try to run in the Belmont? Because, again, the Belmont's longer. All these things are interesting thoughts, and that's what I was thinking about. Rock Your World, I don't think the pedigree would be an issue, but I'm still a little bit on the fence. Like, when you see Tap It, you know you can get it. When you see Candy Ride, you're a little bit more on the fence. Again, that's not me saying he can't get it. The post position is interesting, right? Because from the 15 spot, again, 15 is my favorite horse, you have Umberto Rispoli in the last two, but you had Joel Rosario coming off the pace on the turf on a debut. Aaron, why did he come from off the pace a little bit? He was third by a half a length. I don't know. Was it because it was his first race? Is it because he's really a dirt horse and they put him on the turf? Like, we don't know that answer. But you're putting a notorious closing jockey, probably the best in the country, on a speedball. Or not even a pure speedball, but a horse that has to be, Aaron, in the top 4, I think, to win. Let's be conservative, top 4.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what that means. Like, I'm banking on the fact Joel Rosario doesn't screw it up. But let's just say if Rock Your World doesn't win and he doesn't get the perfect trip, everyone is going to look to Hronis and John Sadler and say, you made the wrong decision. If he wins, everyone's going to say, John Sadler, you really got a pair of cojones and you made the move. So, Aaron, I'll throw it to you, to 2 points I made on Rock Your World. Do you see him as the only potential Triple Crown winner in this field? And if you were John Sadler, would you have made the move to Joel Rosario or anyone? It doesn't have to be. So let's say it's not Rosario. Say it's Castellano, Jose Ortiz. Just would you have made the move, or would you have kept Rispoli aboard?
First of all, Joel Rosario has won 2 races on this Kentucky Derby trail, gate to wire, with horses that were not supposed to go to the front. So I think that gets a little bit overblown, the jockey part of it. Now, would I have changed? No, I wouldn't have, because the guy just won a grade 1 race for me. I wouldn't change. That's just how I am. I would have been loyal to him. But again, like I've said with this, it's their horse. They can do what they want. I don't think it's a big deal one way or the other. But maybe we're talking here Saturday and it's like, well, Joel screwed it up, But listen, he won gate to wire on Concert Tour, and everybody said, oh, Cattle River will be way ahead. Concert Tour will stock. Concert Tour went gate to wire. Hot Rod Charlie was not projected to be the pace setter in the Louisiana Derby. He won gate to wire. So it's not like he can't do it or won't do it. We'll see with him. I do tend to lean your way towards, I think if there is going to be like a freak of a horse coming out of this, it is Rock Your World, only because we just don't know what he is. We don't know how good he really is. One turf race or one dirt race does not make a new normal for a horse. We've got to see him do it, 2-3 times. If he wins the Kentucky Derby off of one dirt race, he's obviously pretty damn talented. And then you look at the Preakness and it's like, who's going to beat him there? And then you look at his pedigree and his running style, and it's like, yeah, he could be decent in the Belmont too. So I don't think he'll do it either. I don't think we have a Triple Crown winner in this crop. But if there is one, it's probably him. If Essential Quality wins, I think he's going to get talked up as one that's got a shot. But I think the 3 races in 5 weeks will eventually get to that horse. They've really spaced his races out well. So I am a little worried about that. But really, Triple Crown this year, I definitely think it's a no.
Aaron. Magic brings up a good point. Venetian Harbor's owners are still mad at Rosario. Aaron said, I don't know. I'm not even going to attempt to say that name. That's only an Aaron and Jared thing where they say Preakness like that. I can't do it. Yeah, I'm not even going to try. I don't want to close the argument on the Triple Crown thing. First of all, I don't even know if Rock Your World's going to win. But I just look at this horse as a potential freak. Yeah. And John White, I know, loved this horse before he won the Santa Anita Derby, and John White has more knowledge in his pinky fingernail than I'm ever going to have in my entire 185-pound body. So that's where I stand. And Aaron, before we do this, I think you could say this. Who is your horse to win the Kentucky Derby? I don't think that's giving anything away.
Yeah, I win Essential Quality. I've been saying it on. I feel like I've been on saying the same thing 100 times, different shows, but consistent, runs on any surface, can win from anywhere, undefeated, trained by a guy that wins all kinds of big races. Ridden by Luis Saez, one of the best jockeys in the country. He's just the one that I feel like I can count on the most to show up and run his race. And as I laid out on Blinkers Off last week, Brad Cox has a knack for getting horses to run huge on the big days and huge third off of a form cycle. That's it for Essential Quality. I think he's going to jump up and run an even better race than what we've seen from him.
Yeah, you've been consistent. I have not been consistent. So Aaron, no matter what, wins a consistency award. We are going to move backward to the turf race. Field of 9 fantastic runners. The Old Forester Bourbon Turf Classic Stakes, Grade 1, should be around 5:30, just a touch before 5:30 Eastern Time. Aaron, again, I always start with you. I don't know why, because I let you take Essential Quality, but I'm going to let you start again here. You don't have to tell us what you're doing with the guy. Just more or less kind of tell us who or what you're interested in with any of these horses or who you're looking for a big performance out of and things like that. Let's preview it here.
Yeah, I am pumped for this race. This is my favorite race on the card, maybe my favorite race of the 2 days. I'm really looking forward to the 2 Jet Brown horses here, Domestic Spending and Digital Age. Digital Age won this race last year and looked amazing. And Domestic Spending, I'm telling you, I think he's going to be a really, really good horse. I'm pumped that he is back. So I'm really looking for those two. And then, Colonel Liam certainly is a horse we're going to have involved with things for sure. It's just a situation of, okay, now like the quote unquote real turf horses are here. They're back. And let's see if Colonel Liam can beat them. So this is a big challenge for him. I think he's a vulnerable favorite. I do think he can win, but I'm going to take a shot against him. And I'm really excited about Domestic Spending in this race.
It really, right, Aaron, that's a really good point that you bring up because I'm looking at my past performances here. The legitimate horses we're talking about that we think have a real shot are all coming back off pretty lengthy layoffs. And those are the horses. No, that's 4, 5, 6. That's Ivar. I'm not sure how you say it. The Brazilian horse, Domestic Spending, and Digital Age. You have Colonel Liam, who's in the best form. So is he good enough to overcome some of the better older turf horses? I don't know. I put him second. I put Ivar on top. Ivar. I don't know how you say it. Because I thought he was closing really, really well in that race against Order of Australia and Circus Maximus and Lope Fernandez. Mind you, all horses that don't run here in this country. So I think when you look at the Breeders' Cup Mile, on the turf, obviously, it's usually won by horses, Aaron, you know this better than me, that come from overseas and come here. That's a big European race. Most turf races are European run, European owned, bred. They do really, really well at the Breeders' Cup. So I thought that was impressive. Colonel Liam, I think, is the key, and I can't believe I'm saying this as a 3-1 morning line favorite, but I think he's the key of the race. Does his form outshine the horses that haven't run in a while? Let's talk about one of Magic's horses. That's Smooth Like Straight. He comes in at 4-1. The last time he won was the Mathis Brothers Mile on December 26th. So he doesn't have a win this year, but he only ran once in the Frank Kilroe. He lost to Hit the Road. Hit the Road does not show up in this race here. What did you think of him? Does he have a shot at 4-1? I kind of thought that price was a touch low.
The big deal with him, I've been back and forth on this horse for a while. He looks like the lone speed in the race, and that's where you're worried. And he also runs pretty well at Churchill Downs. So you've got two big worries there with him. But the 4-1 is too low for sure. I could see him getting out, setting the pace, maybe hitting the board, but getting past kind of late. It's a California runner on the turf coming up against, some of the best turf horses, like you pointed out. So that's the big question mark. Yeah, I agree. The 4-1 is a little short.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to be. I shouldn't say hypocritical because I really don't care about being hypocritical. I'm not taking 4-1 when I'm questioning the talent. Like, and it's not to say he can't win because he only lost to domestic spending by a head when they faced off in the Hollywood Derby. That's 5-6 months ago out in Del Mar. It just seems like he needs his ultimate best effort to win here. I know he's 1 for 2 at this distance, but something tells me that he needs a little bit more. He almost seems like he's that true plotter that if everyone doesn't run their A+ race, then he's good enough. Like, he's always good for an A performance, which is highly, highly commendable.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I always try to mark it out on the test. He's always like a 94, 95, but there always seems to be that horse who can run a 96, 97, 98. I'm not sure if he's ever capable of that. His best win, I mean, I don't know what. I guess you can go. The Mathis Brothers Mile was a good race for him. You can go a few starts further back and say that race on October 18th. I forgot the name of it. Was decent, but he only beat Scardo and Field Pass. Like, Aaron, does that make sense? Right? I'm just like not sure if he's capable of that A+ when I see a lot of potential A+ in here. So that's again. And I love to own this horse because I know I'm cashing a check pretty much every time. I love it.
Yeah.
When I'm looking at it like this and you play multi-race wagers, it gets a little dicey for me.
Yeah, this is just really tough. Yeah, and he's definitely one that if he beats you, you're like, oh no, I saw this race at Lone Speed and he won. But like a horse like you said, Ivar, that you have on top. I mean, that horse when he runs his best races, damn, like he is really, really good, really talented. So, yeah, this is just a really tough race. I am really counting on Chad Brown having the class of the class here. I just relied on Chad in this spot.
Yeah, and if you guys can look at the Equibase entries that I'm looking at, Chad Brown has domestic spending and Digital 8, 2 horses off the layoff. We're going to find out how good they are. So we have a few more. Anyone else we want to talk about? Well, how about this? We talk about the 9, Ride a Comet. I use that horse. I'm very, very intrigued by Ride a Comet. Does have some form. He hasn't won since the Tropical Turf, which beating Casa Creed isn't all that great. Casa Creed's a nice horse, but not good enough to win here. Aaron, I looked at this and I said he has no early speed, so I don't think the 9 is that big of a deal. It'll be interesting to see what Tyler Gaffalione does, and this may be the last horse we talk about before we go to the Oaks. Does Tyler Gaffalione say, I'm going to get as much tactical speed out of him and try to get 3rd or 4th, or does he break from the rail, let the first 8 go and just dive to the rail and see where he goes? It'll be very interesting to see what he does. Were you interested in Ride a Comet breaking from that outside post or not? At all?
I've never really liked that horse. And so I tossed him around a little bit, but at the end of the day, I thought, no, I don't think he's quite as good as what he's going up against here. Like, he's getting ready to go up against some really nice horses. I also think he's better at a mile. You look at his last 3 races a mile, it's been really good. Now we're going to stretch out here. I don't know. I don't have quite the confidence in him. He's another one, though. He's very talented. He can jump up and run a big race at any time. So, it's just one of those things. You had to throw some out, and that's it's just like, yeah, I've got to throw him out here. So I did not use Ride a Comet.
Yeah, exactly right. You at some point you kind of have to look at it and say, all right, I'm leaving someone off. That's for you. I'm also I'm not using Smooth Like Straight for that reason alone. Magic does point out that Ivar's never gone this far, which is a concern. I mean, he went 1 mile and a 16th back of last summer. I don't believe that it's going to be an issue, but it could be. If we look at some of the other contenders, they have gone this far. Smooth Like Straight has gone this far. Cross Border has gone this far. Cross Border, like this is a cutback in distance for Cross Border.
Yeah.
Like Cross Border is like, oh, 9 furlongs. That's what you guys are worried about. I could run 14 if you want. He could run in the Trail's End if he was interested.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. He's like 9 furlongs. He's like, why isn't this race 1,000 furlongs? So he doesn't care. Any other horses before we move on to the Oaks that you just wanted to touch on real quick? Anyone that we didn't get a chance to talk about?
I think we covered almost all of them here, right? We definitely went top to bottom. I think Jared Bush really likes Count Again. He was talking about him. That's another one. I mean, he's a talented horse, just can't use them all. And I just didn't think he could compete with the best ones in here. But 3, 5, and 6. They're runners, and the 4, if the 4 gets the distance too. I mean, those are just flat out runners. So it's just tough for me to pick an upset past kind of that group of horses.
I just want to note, please, if you are interested in playing Churchill Downs today, they are off the turf for some of the races. So just I want to let you guys know that they are sloppy. Hopefully we are not. We're at least good for tomorrow. I would be assume so. Oh, the Magic Mike show covering the late pick 4 Saturday. All the graded stakes at 5:30 Eastern, and then blinkers off as well. It's always nice to have multiple. Hey, Magic, if you want me on as a guest host, I'm more than happy to come on. Let's get to the Oaks now. We have one race on Friday we want to cover. Obviously, you guys can get all the coverage at racingdude.com. We can't go through every stakes race, so this is the only one we're going to cover. For Friday's the Long Jeans Kentucky Oaks. They are going 1-1 8 miles, also 9 furlongs for 3-year-old fillies. So, Aaron, I will start with you. I'll just show these entries here. Excuse me. Where did you go on top? I kind of think this is more interesting than the Derby because I think you can make a case for a few more. I'm not saying I'm going to be like I'm more excited for it. I just think you can make a legitimate case. So where did you go here in the Long Jeans Kentucky Oaks?
Well, right after Travel Column won the Goldenrod last year at Churchill, I said I think this horse has got a great shot to win the Kentucky Oaks. She just got in so much trouble that day, still won, looked great. Went to Fairgrounds. Didn't run great in the first race, got beat by Clariere. Second race, last time out, Fairgrounds Oaks. This horse looked like the goods to me. I thought Travel Column just aired that field with ease. It's another horse trained by Brad Cox, third on a form cycle. Reminds me an awful lot of what he did with Monomoy Girl leading up to the Kentucky Oaks. Travel Column, I think, is going to be awfully tough here. So I put Travel Column on top. Just I really love that horse. Malathot, obviously, I've got a ton of respect for Malathot. And my long shot is Past the Champagne. I think 15-1, way too high on that horse. She ran great last time out, almost beat Malathot. That was Past the Champagne's first race against winners, against stakes competition. And let me tell you, that's a really good effort for first time. So I think she'll run better here.
Yeah, I'm kind of with you on Past the Champagne, but for a different reason, and I'll get to that in a moment. You guys can see 1 through 8 here, and we'll talk about a few. I also put Travel Column on top, right? The only thing I get worried about with this horse, it's a win, then a loss, then a win, then a loss. Do people subscribe to that theory? I don't know. I mean, 2 + 2 is 2. 2 + 2 is 4. Excuse me. I don't know. It kind of seems to be a pattern. Yeah, 2 + 2 is 2. That's how all over the place I am. If you were just line these horses up and just go off talent, I'm pretty sure she's your top choice. That every other does seem to scare me a little bit, and that's why I didn't go short. I think my biggest thought is I want nothing to do with Malathot. Absolutely nothing. Now, I've been saying that for months. Magic, you're not allowed to do that because I'm going to come on the Magic Mike show and I'm going to critique. So you do that to yourself if you get a critique out of me. I've been against Malathot all year long, and I've been wrong every time. But Aaron, it kind of seems like as I'm wrong, that margin that I'm wrong is decreasing. Do you get what I'm saying? It's like 5 + 5 is 10, but I was saying it's 15. Then I got down to 13, and then I got down to 11. And I feel like this might be the target mark where Malathot's just not good. again, I really hope I'm right because I've been saying since January 1st, I want nothing to do with her. I wasn't impressed with the Demoiselle because MILF Will, I don't know why the whole Racing Dudes umbrella was all over her. She stinks. Other than name, she is dreadful. Oh my goodness, she's horrible. 20-1. I need 80-1 to want her. The Malathaat just keeps winning. So Magic says you're only going to hurt Samich's feelings. Yeah, well, Samich isn't on critiquing me. Someone's never going to live that one down, not with this crowd. Yeah, that's okay. I'm wrong a lot. Again, I come on here and I say I'm wrong all the time. So and I am wrong a lot. It's okay. You got to accept it and move on. But I do want to talk about Pass the Champagne because I went 3 deep. I used Travel Column and then another horse that we'll talk about. But I'm with you on Pass the Champagne, right? If you think Malathaat is worth 5-2, which I don't, but say you do, how are you not using a horse who lost by a head, who had the lead at 15-1? How do you not? What is the logical argument? And Aaron, for multi-race wagers, in these types of situations, we've said this all the time. This isn't a Wednesday at Oaklawn. This isn't a Wednesday at Gulfstream. The pools will be where you want them to be. I guarantee you, unless you go 3-5, 3-5, 3-5, 2-1 across the board in a pick 5, I would bet my life that thing pays $1,000. Guaranteed. Mm-hmm. Guaranteed. Even if 2-1 is across the board, paying $6, that will get you $1,000 with this type of weekend. Imagine with the Pass the Champagne in the mix.
Mm-hmm.
We're talking what, $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 now?
Yep.
That's too high for me. I'm completely with you. So Aaron and I are on the same boat. Let's talk about one other horse coming from Aqueduct, and that's Search Results. A very, very, very talented filly. Unlike Malathaat, she didn't start until this year. In the battle of Chad Brown and Todd Pletcher at Aqueduct, Aaron, are you siding with Chad Brown and Search Results? Or are you siding with Todd Pletcher and Malathaat? If you were just say, I'm picking X horse to beat X horse, who would you take?
I'm taking Malathaat.
Okay.
I think Malathaat's better than Search Results, especially at this distance. I thought Search Results like rounded the corner in the Demoiselle and was like, okay, this could be really good. And I think she got pretty tired. So, yeah, I'll take Malathaat.
Part of me looks at the pedigree by Flatter and by Curlin, and it really hurts my argument for Search Results. It really does, because Flatter is more of a sprinter, more of a shorter distance. Curlin is like, oh, you want to run three miles? Go for it. We're bred for it. Not that Flatter horses can't run the distance. If you were given an option to run this distance, you're choosing that pedigree. You're choosing the Curlin pedigree. I still can't believe Malathaat was purchased for $1 million and actually looks like she might eclipse that. That's pretty amazing. You never see that. That never works out. I just have a feeling that Search Results is a little bit overlooked. And what I mean by that is, people, to your point, I think if we were to say at come post time, Malathaat will take more money than Search Results. I don't think Search Results will be 3-1. I'm looking more in that 7-2, 4-1, 9-2 range. And Aaron, this is about ticket structure, this play for me. If I think Travel Column is much better than everyone else, I don't want the second place horse. I don't want the horse that I think is going to finish second or the second filly.
Mm-hmm.
I want the third and fourth and potentially fifth. Right? Isn't that the right way to look at it?
Yep. No, I agree with that. I definitely agree with that. I don't know. I went back and forth on Malathaat. I have all year, and I know you've never really liked her, but she kind of proved a lot in that Ashland. She proved that she's a pretty darn good horse. So, but I think the race, as far as a value perspective, really runs through Pass the Champagne. I really think that's the horse that can spice it up. So, yeah, I mean, you got to throw one out, I guess, is kind of the theory. And Malathaat for you is kind of the one, right? So I get it.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, I got to throw one out. And I'm going to live and die by this sword. I don't think she's going to win. I never thought she was that good. Let's get to a few comments, and then I know you got to go in like 2 minutes. Now I'm worried because I love Past the Champagne as well. What happens with everyone likes the same horse? Yeah, we're all in on that horse. Ava's Grace is scratched. She is an expected pace. So Ava's Grace was the 7. That looked like cheap speed as far as I was concerned. I'm going to try to get through this quick because I know Aaron's got to go. Prevalence is prevalent. Jared, you might be the only one who thinks that. Magic, can I still bet Moonlight Doro? Yeah, Magic, perfect. I'll bet your Moonlight Doro bet. I'll take that Kentucky Oaks bet. I'll take it. Whatever you want to bet, I'll take it. Because I'm guaranteed to win. I can't lose. She's not going to run. Let's see. Moonlight. Malphite is vulnerable. I don't think the New York Phillies speed ratings against are as good. I think that's what SR probably means. Aaron, it's an hour. I know you got to go. You guys got to get on the road. Any final thoughts of the weekend as a whole? Even like your drive with Jared, are you dreading it? Are you looking forward to it? Are you like, please don't talk to me for the next 4 hours? Are you like, are you going to try to go and not eat? Are you going to try to just get there as fast as possible? Like, what are our thoughts as we're getting to the Kentucky Derby here?
My final thought is this: if you buy the Kentucky Derby wagering guide, we don't mail it to you in the mail. I just got an email from someone saying, I just purchased this, but I realized I need to cancel it. There's no way it'll be here in time. He thought it was going to come in the mail. If you buy our guide, it's a digital download. You log into your account.
That's not real. That's not a real email, right?
Swear to God. It's not arriving by mail, being regular mail.
Please don't tell me who it was. Please. Okay. I that could arguably be the worst email ever. The bigger question is, who drives and controls the radio?
I'm in control at all times. I'm in control of it all times.
Now, I do want to say before we go, this has been the most fun, most exciting episode that we've ever had. And it was very different, so we could definitely switch it up. Yeah, that can't be real.
Guys, I'm telling you it's real, and he just replied. He said, oh, okay, I got it now. I thought it was a mail deal. Please ignore this email. Enjoy the weekend.
Well, especially, mind you, there's no way on God's green earth it could even get there by tomorrow.
You can see.
I don't want. Luckily, no one can see who it is. Magic goes, you're welcome. I also think it's better for everyone if you're in control. I think it's safer for everyone to get there. I can only imagine what Jared's mindset is.
Jared's over here like this. Tinder matches.
That's what I'm saying, right? Like Jared, wait till we get there for Tinder. Well, let's make sure we get there one piece. It would have been nice for him to come on too. That's okay. I'm assuming he's still showering. It's only been an hour and 3 minutes.
I got to be honest. I don't know where he's at. He left to go get Starbucks like an hour ago. He hasn't returned.
Tinder girl 347. If you're out there, he's got to get on the road. We
have to leave. They're going to kick us out of the hotel. We got to go.
Yeah, they got to go. That's going to do it for us. Aaron told me a hard out at 12. This is pretty good for us because we're only an hour and 3 minutes in. All things considered, we always run over. I'm going to remove us for a minute, and then I'll bring us back in just so I could show what the guide looks like. That is what I know. I can't speak. You guys can hear me what it was, but that's what it looks like. You can go to racingdudes.com, check that out. We have so much content this weekend. It's like almost nauseating. I told Aaron, I was like, dude, on Monday, if you need me, no thanks. Don't bother me. Like, I don't know what track's open on Monday. I don't really care what track is open. But everyone just needs a break from each other. And also shout out to Magic. I know he's got personal stuff going on in terms of his home. Hopefully there's a new addition in the coming days. So shout out to him, Magic. I'm always here to help if you ever need help. I know he's got a show with Magic Mike at 5:30, the Magic Mike Army or whatever you guys call yourselves. And then Blinkers off sometime tonight. Hopefully when Jared ends his Tinder date, that will be as well.
I don't know where we're leaving here at this hotel. I mean,
I don't even know if you're going to get to Louisville. Good luck. You might be watching the Derby from that hotel that you're in, which wouldn't be good. Also, guys, thank you guys for tuning in today. Please chime in with your comments and things like that. We will have Kentucky Derby and Oaks coverage all weekend long. You won't be seeing me tomorrow night at all, unfortunately, unless we're doing a live stream, which I don't know the schedule. These guys will figure it out. But Saturday, I will probably be on. My guess is probably from 2 o'clock till no joke 8 o'clock. I will come on by myself, just covering it by myself if needed. We will try to get guests on as well. You can always reach out at contact@Racing Dudes for all the Kentucky Derby coverage as well. Plenty of stuff, podcast content, so check that out. Aaron, good luck to you guys getting there on time. Make sure Jared doesn't drive at all.
I won't. Yeah,
ever, like, for the rest of your lives. Aaron's always going to drive. And good luck tonight for everyone watching the NFL draft for your favorite team as well. Hopefully some Oklahoma players get drafted. The Ravens need a tackle since they just traded Orlando Brown. Real quick, any thoughts on top quarterbacks, anything like that before we go? No.
It's fallen on a bad week for me to care about the NFL draft.
Yeah.
Usually I follow it, but this week you got to realize when you do what we do, you can't do it this week. I got to mail out these guides, so I can't. I can't do the NFL draft.
He's got to go to FedEx Kinko's like overnight.
Right.
So
Yeah.
That's going to do it for us, though. Good luck today if you're playing Churchill Downs. I'm currently updating it. I know they're going off soon, but it'll be out soon if you guys bought. You can always check out Ricky's Rockets at racingdudes.com. It's up there for today. Sloppy track if you guys are playing off the turf in race 5, I believe. Don't quote me. I believe it's race 5 or 6, one of those two. So check that out. And real quick shout out, Oaklawn Park, fantastic meet. Saturday is your last day. Please, 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 if you can watch the Trails End, it's fantastic. 1 3/4. Believe it's race 12 on Saturday. So if you get a chance in your Kentucky Derby coverage or you're watching, just try to watch that. They have the Oaklawn Stakes before that as well. Everyone, thank you guys for tuning in. We are going to see you on Wednesday. Maybe Aaron and I will do a special highlight show on Monday if we're not too tired of each other. We'll figure it out over the weekend. We'll see where he is driving home, things like that, and how tired he is. But I would do it if we want to. Other than that, we will definitely see you guys Wednesday, and we will have plenty of recaps and things like that, and plenty of live coverage as well. So tune in to all of the Twitter, YouTube, things like that. We'll be live for sure, and definitely recaps Friday and Saturday as well. Everyone take care, stay safe, stay healthy, and good luck playing this weekend. More importantly, have fun with it. Just enjoy it. If you're there, great. If you're on TV, enjoy it with your friends, buddies, or just on TV. Enjoy the commentary. It's going to be a great weekend overall. The weather should be great. So everyone enjoy. We will see you guys over the weekend and next week as well here on the Rocket Hour. Everyone take care and have a good rest of your Thursday.